Hey everybody, and welcome back. So Crown Royal is going to be continue to be on the shelves of the LCBO. Doug Ford and Diageo, the owners of Crown Royal, have come to an agreement, and the agreement is not the win that Doug Ford thinks it is. It was a lifeline given by Diageo because Doug's Ford threat of taking it off the shelves was only going to hurt him and Canadians. Now, the tactic that Doug Ford and a lot of other provinces used to take American-made alcohol off the shelves was a good one because it wasn't going to hurt Canadian manufacturers, suppliers, or anything out because they were made and produced in the U.S. But Crown Royal and the other drink, Smirnoff, that Doug Ford was eventually going to take off too, are Canadian-made, sourced and produced. Like everybody knows, Crown Royal is distilled in Manitoba. The grains are sourced from Manitoba and surrounding provinces. And Smirnoff is bottled in Quebec. So this idea that he was going to hurt Diageo, yes, it would hurt them, but it would hurt Canadians as well. So that's why that tactic wasn't going to work. And Doug Ford, being a bull in a china shop, overextended himself in terms of that threat. And he needed a way out. And Diageo gave them that one with a $23 million promise of investment here in Ontario. And when you go over the details of this $23 million, it's pitiful. It doesn't even help the community of Amherstburg. So Diageo saved Doug Ford. And because they saved Doug Ford, he's going to owe them. He's going to have to remember this favor that they did for him to give him a political win so he doesn't look stupid. And it's going to hurt more Canadian jobs in the long run. Just like for another example, Green for Life. Big company here in Ontario, waste management. They have construction as well. They just got the contract for circular materials, which is a new recycling program that the Ontario government has implemented for the private sector. Well, the private sector having to deal with it. So Green for Life has now got that contract to pick up the recycling for a lot of municipalities and regions. But they moved their head office. What did Doug Ford do for that? He didn't make any threats. He didn't threaten to cancel contracts with Green for Life because he doesn't have the power that he thinks he does. So that's why he didn't say anything. He didn't really flex his muscles, threaten Green for Life or anything for moving their head office to Miami, Florida from Vaughan here in Ontario. Because he learned his lessons on what happened here with Diageo and Crown Royal. He can't do anything. So let's go over the deal and you're going to see how it wasn't a good deal of the $23 million, and it's not really benefiting the Amherstburg community. So here as it states, Ontario will keep Crown Royal on the shelves in the province liquor stores. It says after the parent company Diageo agreed to almost $23 million in spending in the alcohol and agricultural sectors. Okay, when you take a face value of that, it's like, okay, he got something, he got some investment. $23 million is not a lot of money. Depending on I don't know what they were getting paid, but the just under 200 employees at the bottling plant, $23 million, you could say that's probably a year and a half to 2 years of payroll, depending on their compensation, because they're union jobs. So I'm assuming they're well-paying jobs. That's just 2 years of payroll, a year and a half to 2 years. It's not a lot. Ontario goes, by standing firm in our plan to protect Ontario workers, we secured nearly $23 million in investment that Ontario would not otherwise have seen, said Ford. Okay, agreed. But what's the $23 million and what's it going to do? We thank Premier Ford and his team for their exceptional leadership and collaboration reaching this resolution. A statement from Diageo. Now we get into a little bit of the details. According to the province, about $500,000 will come to the group Invest Windsor Essex for economic development in Amherstburg, while another $500,000 will be used for the community projects for the residents of Amherstburg. Okay. Group invest. Like what were they going to actually use for 500,000 and 500,000? Right now, that's only $1 million for the township or the town of Amherstburg. It's not a lot. 1 million out of $23 million. So let's see where the rest of the money went. Diageo will also spend $11 million to purchase grain spirits made by Greenfield and Johnstown, supporting local production in Eastern Ontario. Okay, $11 million. Half decent. Is it a one-time purchase? Is it an ongoing contract? Is it for 5 years, 10 years? No details on that. Because as of right now, it stands for just a one-time purchase. That doesn't mean they're going to go back and buy any more grains from Greenfields. The company will also spend millions on new packaging and $5 million on Ontario-based marketing. Where's the company that's going to be doing this new packaging? $5 million in Ontario-based marketing. To me, that's Toronto, because Toronto has all the marketing firms. Amherstburg. Are they getting any more of this money? Are they developing the new packaging in that town? Seems like it's going elsewhere. The agreement includes a commitment to explore options for a new Ontario canning facility and $1 million for organizations that support the agricultural sector. A commitment to explore. You can make those agreements all day long. All they're doing is just going to explore every year, year after year, day after day. Exploring is not a commitment that they're going to open up a new facility. So this agreement to explore means nothing. It's vaporware. Now here's a few words from the mayor. I don't even know who's getting the money because they weren't clear on that. Whether that's the town, some charity, or groups of charities, I have no idea, he said. That's a good question. If I was a business owner and I was going to invest, I'm going to be looking at my return on investment. If I'm not looking to do any more business here in Ontario, what can I do to get my best bang for my buck? Just give money to certain areas to invest, which I'm never coming back? Or am I going to give it to charity groups, which will be, to me, higher write-off in terms of taxes, corporate taxes? I would think it would go more towards the charities. The town has no say in what the charities spend the money on. How is it going to help the people? What type of charities? What type of people are going to get it? John D'Angelo is the president of Unifor Local 200, which represents about 160 unionized workers at the plants. He said he's not happy with the announcement. Representative, I know you could have both sides, that they're asking too much, that they don't know what they're getting, and so on and so forth. So let's see what he has to say. That's a drop in the bucket when it comes to investment. Agreed. As far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty weak deal for a company that makes millions, hundreds of millions of dollars off the people in Ontario every year. They're making money, they're selling a product, okay? Canada's still benefiting from it. But he's not incorrect by saying this is just a drop in a bucket in terms of what they make in terms of profits and how they cannot reinvest into the community. That's their biggest customer. 100% agree with him on that. $23 million is loose change, if you want to say, in terms of what the company has and the resources they have available. It's a multinational company. Prue said the town is working to see a new company in the bottling facility to keep these jobs. He's aware that at least one offer has been made on the facility and that has not been accepted, and said there's interest for at least 2 other companies. Best of luck. I don't know if it's going to happen, but at least there's some interest, and I hope they get a deal. It's hard to say, Diageo made an offer, and the lion's share of the offer is going to Toronto, Eastern Ontario, and elsewhere. And it's not going here, he said. For the money to be spent elsewhere, it is pretty sad. Like I said before, $500,000 for one thing, $500,000 for another thing in Amherstburg. Beautiful. It's $1 million out of the $23 million. $5 million for advertisement. It's Toronto. Like you say, that's all the advertisement companies are here in Toronto. Packaging, design, again, Toronto. The $11 million for agriculture, it's not Amherstburg. Didn't affect their community, or the community is not going to benefit for that. So they're getting $1 million out of the $23 million. That's what I'm telling you is this was a lifeline for Doug Ford's best. It was more for Diageo than Doug Ford. It was not a win. Diageo benefited more from this than the people of Ontario. Amherstburg is the one that's going to hurt. Their workers, their facility, the local economy is going to hurt. And they got $1 million out of the $23 million. Why does Toronto need $5 million of that in terms of advertisements? Toronto's not hurting. Amherstburg is. $1 million. That's the worst deal I've seen in a long time. And Doug Ford is the one who made this deal. He needed it, so he took whatever they gave him, and they knew that. Because at the end of the day, Diageo knew that they could have just sat back and let Doug Ford take this political loss by taking them off the shelves and hurting other Canadian manufacturing in the rest of Canada. But they played the smart move, gave him a lifeline, so at least they looked like the good guy, and gave him a shit deal. And Doug Ford jumped all over it. You need to take a step back and really analyze before you start going to the negotiating table. And Doug Ford is all about shooting by the hip and figuring it out later, as a lot of his decisions, projects are coming to fruition and are not panning out. And Ontarians are seeing this. So I feel bad for those workers. I hope all the best for another manufacturer to buy the facility and rehire them. And I wish them all the best. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Take care. We'll talk later.